The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100 and get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the Mini Helmet Contest. The SGPN Mini Helmet is here in stores, and we're giving one away for free. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmet. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmet. And football bingo is back. NFL Christmas Day slate is here. Free to play. Every bingo gets a $100 SGPN gift card exclusively on the SGPN app. Yes, sir. We are here for take two of a Friday edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. If you know, you know, and if you don't, well, you don't. So I'm here. You know me, know the guy. It's me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. at your service. And here is the moment everybody's waiting for. Partner and pick, Scott, Studio Rochelle. Scott, what's going on?
Nothing much. Doing well. Hopefully this take works better than the first one. Apparently my mic was also not working at the end, so maybe it was just a cursed meeting. We'll see, but hopefully this live stream works a bit better. But as I was saying before, the card yesterday was pretty odd. You only had 2 games on, and now we have 14. So a lot of games tonight, and hopefully we make some money going through them.
Yeah, yesterday, really great day for me and Delonte. We all over CJ McCullough's assists. We actually told you to take him at a double-double and fell 1 assist short of that. So we could have had a really nice cash there.
You almost had a triple.
Yeah. When I looked at the first quarter and he had like 6 rebounds, he had like 4 or 5, 6 rebounds, something early. And I'm like, oh man, we should have sprinkled on this triple. But things don't work out. Trey Murphy was my lock. He got there on the hook over 14.5 points, never in doubt. And he didn't get there for my bonus dog, the 2.5 3-pointers, but we did get there on my bonus lock of the Wizards Jazz first half over 112.5. It was a system play there. I mean, the Jazz were 7-3 to the over at home. Wizards were 7-3 to the over on the road. So it all really worked out for that. And that was just a very easy system play there. Didn't get Wizards money line either. Should have really took them first half. I told everybody Wizards were going to win at the first half, and then we were going to come in and bet the Jazz on the third quarter because they were such a good third quarter team at home, but didn't follow my own advice. Took the full game, not the first half. Walker Kessler, though, really great game. Talked about his rebounds, 7.5. That was really, really good. But other than that, hey, he got his double-double. He got a double-double. Very good game for Walker Kessler. So looking forward to that. Either way here, 14 games on the slate. Scott, everything good on your end?
Yeah, I think my headphones might be a bit messed up, so I'm going to try to fix it by not using it. So as far as I know, the acoustics in here aren't that bad, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But maybe with my headphones, maybe, I don't know, but I'm assuming it's still working out fine. Do I sound good on your end?
Yeah, no, you sound fine on my end. So.
Okay, fine. So it might be the headphones. We'll see. It's what happens when you constantly have to fold them up and put them into like a bag to carry them. But it is what it is. Yeah, looking forward to the card. Should be fun and a lot of games to go through.
Yep, getting ready for Christmas. I am here celebrating in the Christmas spirit with my Tupac Christmas sweater. Ain't nothing but a Christmas party. Shout out to one of the GOATs in the music industry. So we are here enjoying ourselves. I mean, it's 14 games, Scott. We got to dip right into it. We can't talk too much about other things here. So let's get into the slate. Kicking things off, San Antonio Spurs are on a back-to-back, going to play the Orlando Magic, the surging Orlando Magic. Magic are laying 7 right now. 227.5 is the total. I don't have an injury report for the Spurs because they just played.
The only injury report is Keldon Johnson currently is questionable. That's really the only thing worth talking about.
And I think that it's a good chance that he plays, seeing how he didn't play last night. They knew they had a back-to-back. They decided to play him one night and sit him the next, and not playing him in the first game gives him an opportunity for extra rest and be more healthy for this Orlando game. But So yeah, Keldon Johnson is one, and then going over to the Magic, Wendell Carter Jr. foot is available for this game. He's more than likely going to be on a minutes restriction. And Jalen Suggs is out. Gary Harris hamstring. He is available to play in this game. So that's pretty much it for the injury report on that one. The Magic are laying 7, but let me put this into context for you because this is not the same Orlando Magic team. In the last 8, they have won 7 of their last 8 games. Like 7. They've won 7 of the last 8 games. That's probably why they made this line 7. They said, 7 of the last 8. Let's just make the line 7. The Spurs sucks, whatever.
And we've seen the Spurs without Keldon. They get blown out all the time.
Yeah, very much. Last night they actually fought back in that game, and it was really because of Sochan. He just had an amazing game.
He's not a great offensive player. He just had a great game.
He just was feeling it. He was really feeling it last night, looking like Dennis Rodman out there. And Devin Vassell, I faded Devin Vassell yesterday because that's my guy. I never really fade him, but the Herb Jones matchup is legit, and that had him flustered. So now you're getting 7 against the Orlando Magic. What are you doing?
This one's pretty tricky because I know that all of us liked Orlando during the offseason. It took a little while for them to gel, but it seems like they finally figured it out. My question for you is, we see this all the time where you get key players back into a starting lineup after a long period off, and you see them struggle initially trying to get them back into the flow of the offense. Do we think Wendell Carter coming back and potentially being rusty might impact the overall flow of this offense, since they're going to have to give him north of 20 minutes and there's no guarantee how he's going to actually look? Or do you think Orlando can overcome?
Oh, man. I think
that's kind of one thing that's scaring me off.
I think it's concerning because I don't know. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if it's really that concerning because it's not like I'm expecting him to spot up shoot like how he's under the rim. Like he does his work under the rim. He does his work on the boards. Like I feel like I'm not as worried as if it was Jalen Suggs coming back. Okay. And Jalen Suggs having to get back into shooting rhythm, get to his spots, hitting open jump shots. Like I would be more concerned if it was Suggs coming back than if it was Wendell Carter coming back.
I was just food for thought. I thought it was worth bringing up. But Orlando, we know, has been playing well. It is a lot of points to be laying, but I think if I had to give out a play here, it would probably be the over or Orlando team total over. I don't see much defense being played. Orlando has played a bit faster recently. Yeah. We know the Spurs can guard anybody. Doesn't matter who they're playing. So I think you'll end up seeing a bit of a track meet breakout, maybe first half over if you're afraid about fatigue for San Antonio in the second half of the back-to-back. But I'm going to go with the over. I think you'll see points.
Yeah, I think you'll see points too. Talked about it yesterday. San Antonio's been one of dead last teams. Dead last in terms of
defensive efficiency.
Like it doesn't matter what metric, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, points per game, like whatever it is, they're just letting people score the basketball. And I think that if you give this Orlando Magic team opportunities to score the basketball, they're really going to kill you for it. So
I think I'm just going to stick with the over and call it a day.
I do like the over. I feel comfortable, even with San Antonio on a back-to-back, I feel comfortable that San Antonio is going to do their part of the scoring just because it's a possibility that Keldon Johnson plays in this game. He could not, but it's a possibility that he does play in this game. And then you also have the added Devin Vassell doesn't have a premier defender on him, so I think he's about to go get buckets this game. I'm back on Devin Vassell for this game. Orlando 0-3 is a favorite this season.
Is that straight up or against the spread? Well, it can't be straight up because they beat the. I had them as my lock.
They're 0-3. It says here they're 0-3 on the money line as well.
That's probably based on opening lines because I know for a fact they closed the favorite against Houston.
Okay. I can't get in front of Orlando right now. I'm gonna just take Orlando -7.
I can't either. Like it's either Orlando or pass, but I feel better about the over.
Yeah, I'll take Orlando. I'll take Orlando in the first half, probably sitting there at 3.5, maybe 4. I'll take Orlando in the first half, and I'll take Orlando 7 for the game.
Cool.
All right, next game on the slate, we have the Los Angeles Clippers going to play the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly, -3.5 for the 76ers. 215 is the total. injury report for this one, and we have I lost it. I have it back for the injury report. I mean, come on, it's the Clippers. You already know who's going to be on the injury report.
It looks clear right now, so we'll see what happens. But
I guess, but whatever. John Wall, questionable with an ankle injury. Jason Preston, Brandon Boston are both out in the G League. And Tyrese Maxey, we all know, is still not playing. So, quote unquote, full strength Clippers team against this 76ers team. What are you doing?
I like the under in this game. Total seems low. I actually don't think it's low enough. Pace should be an issue for both teams in this game. We know that the Sixers play a lot slower with Embiid and Harden because they want to run the pick and roll all the time. And the Clippers play a lot slower as well under Ty Lue. So I see points being at a bit of a premium here, which is why this total does seem pretty short at around 214.5. I actually think it's a little too large. I like the under. But for the side here, Philly's won 6 straight. They've been very good at home. They're 13-6 straight up at home. Clippers are 8-7 on the road. But the Clippers' full season numbers are a bit misleading because they've played so many games without Kawhi, Paul George, or both. So I'm not sure if the Clippers are undervalued now. I'm going to take the Clippers. I think that they can match up well against Harden because of the length they have with the likes of Kawhi and Paul George. Embiid might do his thing. So I don't know if you can really combat that. But I do think the Clippers getting 3.5 here against a Sixers team that has had issues at times scoring the ball that can be a little bit, I'd say, inconsistent, and they go through some scoring droughts on occasion. If the Clippers can shut down Harden, I'm not sure anyone on the Sixers will actually get going because he's the main facilitator on the team. I'm going to go with the Clippers. I'm going to go with them on the money line, but I do like the under in this game. I see the pace being slow, and I think you'll see a defensive slugfest, but I'll lean to the Clippers. It'll be a very close game throughout, though.
What are the odds that you can get on Joel Embiid double-double?
Let me check. I'm assuming the odds will be somewhere in the minus like 150 to 200 range, if I had to guess.
Because while you're doing that, I'm just looking at Joel Embiid's game log versus the Clippers, and he has 27 and 10. That was only in 28 minutes, by the way. 40 and 13, 36 and 14. Minus 160. Okay.
That's where I thought it would be. But yeah.
Yeah. So 40 and 13, 36 and 14, 26 and 9, 28 and 19, 41 and 13, 29 and 16, 32 and 16. He kills this team. He destroys this team. He destroys them on the boards. He's able to score points. I can see him getting into the post. You really can't really put their two best defenders on him. They're not going to be as effective. Like, I'm sure they can go up there and do their best, but I think Joel Embiid's going to go get whatever he can get regardless. So
how many minutes do you think Zubac actually plays? He played 23 minutes in his first game back from injury. Do we expect him to play 30? But let's ignore the foul trouble and whatever. Like, do we think he's going to play a decent amount of minutes?
He probably will get into foul trouble. I'm not gonna lie. I think
he will too. But I'm saying, hypothetically speaking, do you think he is going to have any restrictions whatsoever, or do you think he plays?
I think they just say bump. Like, we just got to let him play. They don't have an option. If he doesn't play, then this is a system. Just bet Joel Embiid's points all the way up because there's nobody that can stop him. He is a mismatch nightmare for this Clippers team.
Yeah, and if you want to go through the actual point total for Embiid, it is 30.5 minus 120 on the over. The reason why I asked about Zubac's potential minute restriction, I'm not saying this bet's going to cash or not, but Zubac double-double is plus 380.
380?
That's why I'm asking. Like, I know it's a bad matchup, and I know he might get into foul trouble. I get it. But Zubac is their main center, and a double-double for a guy who's a good rebounder is plus 380.
Yeah, that's actually good odds.
That's why I feel like that should be closer to like 2-1, to be honest. I think 380 is too high.
He has to play the minutes. He has to play the minutes, or they're going to get destroyed. So I like a sprinkle on it. I'm not gonna lie, I do like a sprinkle on it, but I do think that he has a pretty good opportunity of getting into foul trouble here because Joel Embiid is going to attack him. He's going to attack him. He's going to try to knock him out the game because he knows if it's no Zubac, who's stopping him? Who else is coming in the lineup to slow him down?
You're not gonna, take a stand for one of the podcast legends, Moses Brown?
No, they're not.
No?
No, and the Clippers and basically any other team with Moses Brown has shown that if they have a capable center, they are not going to play Moses Brown minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they should really actually probably want Zubac not to play in this game, and I would much rather prefer if Moses Brown was starting to play a Moses Brown props than Zubac tonight.
I was just throwing it out there for 380. I don't mind the price for double, but
all right.
So I'm assuming you're taking Philly then because you just think Embiid's going to go for like 40.
Yep,
okay.
Pretty much. I think they bury him.
Okay. Any thoughts on the over/under?
Oh yeah, I'm on the under.
Yeah,
I think it's an Embiid game and I think that's what the game plan is for the Clippers. Like, hey, we literally don't have an option for Joel Embiid. We have an option for everybody else. So Joel Embiid, if you want to go out there and try to score 100 points by yourself, go ahead and do that. But we're limiting everybody else in the lineup. So
my favorite play is the under in that game.
I will play a Tobias Harris under because I think that he has the worst matchup in this game.
That is definitely going to be true.
He is going to see either Kawhi Leonard or Paul George or a combination of both for the duration of the entire game.
That's not good.
It's very, very not good. I don't think I would want to. I don't think I would want to do that.
His current numbers at 15.5.
Oh, you guys are lame.
It's at minus 130 to the over, so I'm assuming you could probably find a juice 16.5 to the under somewhere.
Yeah, you guys are lame. I thought I was going to get him at like 17, 18. All right, I'm still going to stick by it.
Okay.
All right. Anything else for this game?
No. I got nothing.
Next game on the slate, we have the Detroit Pistons going to play the Atlanta Hawks. If y'all see me like wiping my nose, please don't judge me. Again, I'm flu game Jordan right here.
The flu
game
season,
Jordan.
Man.
Yes, it's flu game Jordan, and I'm still here. So Detroit Pistons are going to the Atlanta to play the Atlanta Hawks. -9 for the Hawks. 233 is the total. Injury report for these two teams. And my injury report keeps just loading every time I go on the screen. All right, here we go. Injury report. And we have for the Detroit Pistons. You're not going to see Kate Cunningham for the rest of the season. Isaiah Livers, not seeing him as well. So pretty clean for them. Clay Capella is questionable with the calf injury, and that is it for the Atlanta Hawks.
I feel like my breakdown for this game is pretty simple, but I think we're going to see eye to eye here. But I'm not laying 8.5 with Atlanta.
I mean, we're getting dangerously close to this double-digit margin for the Pistons. I kind of wish the Pistons would label somebody out so I can get to that 10. But
besides the Pistons being double-digit dogs potentially, the Hawks are bad. Like, they're not a good team. We've been criticizing them for most of the season, and now reports are coming out that for the last month or so, Trae Young and the coach haven't gotten along. He might be playing through an injury. And there are some rumors. Now, once again, I don't know how accurate this is on the Twitter sphere, but it seems like a lot of players don't exactly like playing with Trae Young, which wouldn't surprise me because he's a stat sheet point guard who I don't think really helps you win games because he's one of the worst defensive players in the entire league. He does nothing off ball as well, so he's kind of one-dimensional offensively. I know he's a good facilitator and he can shoot. I get that, but the shooting hasn't been great lately, and it feels like when DeJounte has the ball, he doesn't do anything. He just stands in the corner, kind of like what we used to criticize Harden for back when he was in Houston with Chris Paul, for example. But there's no way I'm laying 8.5 with Atlanta. Detroit's been feisty. They've been competitive. And I think I'm going to take a money line in this game. I want nothing to do with Atlanta. I think this team's bad. I think it's kind of a ticking time bomb. And I think the fact that it's laying 8.5 is absurd to me. I'm taking Detroit. It's pretty cut and dry for me. Is there any team in the league besides maybe a team that was benching half their starters that you'd actually want to lay 8.5 with Atlanta? Because I can't.
I absolutely would not ever want to lay 8.5 with Atlanta, and I'm not laying it. I'm all over the Pistons spread here. Like that's a lot.
I don't mind the money line. Like Atlanta, even at home, has not been good.
That's where I am trying to get there, because one spot that I have been backing Atlanta all season is when they lose a home game, they typically play really well and bounce back and get a win in the next home game. And that's where I'm trying to get there. They just lost and they blew that lead to the Bulls. They had a lead.
They should have lost 2 straight. because they blew that lead against Orlando, and they had
Yep.
the foul call with DeJounte at the end to win the game. So they haven't even looked good at home. Like,
Yeah,
I
so
don't think they're a good team.
I'm close to the money line. I'm close to getting there on the money line. I'm not there yet, but I am all over the +9. I think that this Detroit team is too good. Like, they're playing very well, good basketball when they're getting these large numbers and they're covering the spread. And Atlanta just doesn't look good. They don't look good at all. So right now I'm on a Detroit cover. Atlanta finds a way to get a win, but I can probably be swayed into that money line for the Detroit before the end of this podcast for sure.
And Detroit has lost 4 straight, but they've played good teams. They played the Kings, played the Nets, played the Jazz, and then on a back-to-back played at Philly. They had no chance in that Philly game on a back-to-back against Embiid. They had no shot. But that's 4 playoff teams right now. And you're looking at Atlanta, lost to Chicago. They haven't been good. Beat Orlando barely. They should have lost that game. Beat Charlotte, lost to Orlando, and got buried by Memphis the game prior. Now, Atlanta's 2-0 against the Pistons this season, which might be a reason why they're laying 9. But I can't do it.
But that was early in the season where they had a back-to-back stretch in Detroit. I remember those games because I think I was on Detroit one of those games. So it's a whole completely different team. I think this Detroit team is clicking on all cylinders. So
I think Atlanta, from a spread perspective, might just be pure fade territory because you can't trust this team. They don't close out games. The coach and the star player clearly don't like each other, and I don't know where exactly they're gelling in terms of chemistry. It seems like the whole team from top to bottom is kind of just really in flux.
Yeah, if I can get a live number on Detroit,
if it ever crosses double digits, I'll take it.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will. I think that if I can get it like 15, that just seems like free money at any point because I don't think that Atlanta has what it takes to close out and blow this Detroit team out. I really don't.
If I would take Atlanta, it would be first half if I wanted to make a case because I've seen Atlanta late in games. They are really bad with leads.
Yeah, I was thinking first quarter. I was thinking first quarter as well. Just to bounce back from the fact that they blew, this has been a bad homestand. They got a 3-game homestand right now. This is the last game. It's been bad. That game against Orlando was bad. That game against the Bulls obviously was bad. So, all right. Let's see here. Chat saying Jaden Ivey is hot right now. Yeah, he is. He's playing really good basketball right now.
I'm obviously on Duran rebounds, which I've been on with Munaf for a couple games at this point. Now, Capella coming back could potentially hurt it, but I think he'd be on a min restriction because Capella has been banged up for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Duran's just a very good rebounding big man. I think that his rebounding number should be pretty solid.
And I'm on Bojan, not Bogdan. Well, I could be swayed to Bogdan as well, but I'm definitely on Bojan. He's had the usage. He's been the guy for this team. He's going to get the usage and the points. So I'm on Bojan.
I'm trying to see what a Duran double-double is. The issue is usually points with him, but he's playing a bunch of minutes and he's been really good. So if I can find anything above 2-1, that might just be, I don't want to say an auto play, but there's a lot of value on it based on how good he's been rebounding the ball. Let me just pull that up quickly. Duran double-double is plus 210.
Plus 210. Yeah, that feels like a good play. For the total 233, I'm
leaning over.
It's a clear over for me. Yeah. I think I would definitely play Detroit team total over. I don't trust Atlanta defensively right now at all. I really don't. And so now the fact that they're 9-point favorites, so I'm getting a very favorable line on Detroit's team total over. Yeah, absolutely. I'm playing Detroit's team total over. I think that is what's that number at? Let me see here. You can get Detroit's team total at wait, that's not it.
I see 111.5.
Yeah, like
Atlanta's it's minus 125, but it's a reasonable number of juice.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's move on to the next game in the slate. We have the Milwaukee Bucks going to play the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn, Scott. -3 for the Nets. 229 is the total. Injury report for these two teams. And we have, scroll. For the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis is probable with a knee injury. Chris Middleton is doubtful with the knee injury. And for the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving is not on the injury report, so he's expected to play with that calf. And Yuta Watanabe is questionable with the hamstring injury. Okay. Milwaukee is not good as dogs.
This line also looks pretty sketchy, doesn't it? Because Milwaukee historically has owned Brooklyn.
Yes, they have. That is very true. I want to pull up Milwaukee's numbers as a dog. Milwaukee, why do I feel like Milwaukee is not good as dogs? Like, most of the time when they're a dog, I question myself, like, should I fade them? And I do fade them, and it works out.
I'm assuming it's skewed, though, because the only time or most of the time Milwaukee's a dog is probably because Giannis is not playing.
Okay.
So I have to at least point that out. Milwaukee's favored in most games they play.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's see here. As an underdog this season, they are 2-3 against the spread. And every time they've never been an underdog at home. So every time they've been a dog, it was on the road. 2-3 against the spread. I think the games that I'm thinking of in particular where everybody was playing was Memphis. I'm pretty sure everybody played in that Memphis game and they got buried. And then was everybody playing in that Cavs game that just happened?
I think so.
So
at least I know for a fact that Giannis and Holiday were they dogs against Dallas when they won that game in miraculous fashion on Friday? I think they were they a dog in that game? Or they were maybe
I think it switched. I think it was like -1 Dallas went -1 Bucks. I think it was back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm afraid of.
I'm leaning Brooklyn here. As a Nets fan, I find it very odd that they're favored in this game. I know they've played well. They scored 91 points against basically a G League team with the Warriors. But this line does seem extremely trappy because I feel like most people will blindly take Giannis to dominate against the Nets again. He had 45 against the Cavs. I mean, we know that he's a phenomenal offensive player. We know that the Nets can't guard him. But it's also a bit of selective recall. But as a Nets fan, this team is insane on Friday nights for the last 2-3 years. They win all the time on Friday night. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the crowd. Maybe it's just the overall.
Is that a real thing?
They're really good on Friday night. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me because I'm looking up. I tried to look it up, and they have the Nets history on Friday night, which goes back to the 1970s, which doesn't help me. But if I look for the last couple of years, if you actually scrolled through the game, the actual schedule, take some effort. But they're really good on Friday nights. I don't know what it is, but it feels like they always win on Friday. And as a Nets fan, I watch a decent amount of those games. I can tell you they win a lot of the time on Friday.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. Series has been split the last 5 games, 3-2 going to Milwaukee. And Milwaukee has won the last 2 games in Brooklyn. Brooklyn has won 2 of 3 in Milwaukee. I think.
First of all, does it surprise you the Nets are favored?
I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I think that it's a little bit of the market and recency bias and the fact that how Milwaukee lost to Cleveland the game before. I think and the
Nets have won 7 straight.
Yes, I think that has something to do with it. And the fact that they just blew the Warriors out, which doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care what they did against that Warriors team at all whatsoever. But I can understand how the market sees that. And I think that's why I can make sense of the line. And because I can make sense of the line, I'm going to stick with my original pick, and I'm going to go with Milwaukee +3.
Okay. And I think Milwaukee in this spot looks a little too easy based on how good Giannis has been. I think I'd rather, instead of taking Bucks +3, I would rather just take Giannis points over. Because if the Bucks are going to win, Giannis is going for 35. Durant or Kyrie or both are going to get theirs. I don't think the Bucks can guard either of them. You can argue maybe Holiday, but the Nets run so many screens and so many just misdirection plays. I do think it might be tricky for Holiday to constantly be sticking to one of those 2 guys. I think at the end of the day, Giannis, if the Bucks win, is going to go nuclear. And Nick mentioned in the last 5 games here against Brooklyn, 43, 44, 29, 31, 32. I've taken his points total over against the Nets for the last couple of years, and it cashes basically every time. So instead of taking the Bucks, I'd rather take Giannis points over because they can still lose and he can still go nuclear. But I'm going to go with the Nets. I just think that the line seems a little bit tricky, and I think it's baiting you to take Milwaukee. I'll hold my nose and take the Nets.
Yeah. No Middleton in this is really throwing me off, man.
I don't even know how much Middleton means to me because I'm so used to him not playing at this point. You know?
Yeah.
Like he's into the lineup, he's out of the lineup, and I'm at the point where I'm kind of just numb to it. Not saying he's a bad player, but I'm so accustomed to him not playing. I don't know if it actually has any impact on my handicap.
I'm going to stick with Milwaukee. This is a close game. I'm going to just take the points. I think this is a close game. I'm going to take the points. Okay. This is a tough one. I think this is probably one of the harder games to handicap on.
I think it is difficult, but once again, I'd rather take Giannis points instead of Milwaukee money line because I think they're very correlated.
All right.
Or maybe a same game parlay with the Milwaukee money line and Giannis 30 plus or 35 plus.
All right. Total's at 229. What are you doing there?
This one's tricky because the first meeting died. First meeting landed at 209, and we've seen, historically speaking, these games be a little bit more defensive than what odds makers anticipate. They have to put the total high because you have Durant and you have Giannis and you have Kyrie and you expect a bunch of points. But when they play, usually the total's too high.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to lean under here. I think you'll see a pretty ugly quarter or two, which might drag the whole pace down. Fourth quarter in this game might be hideous because you might just see a bunch of half-court intense battles there. I'm going to lean under.
Yeah, that's where my handicap kind of was. I was thinking of that fourth quarter and just more of you're going to see a lot of isolations with Kyrie, with KD, with Giannis, and while they're going to be scoring points, that's going to slow the pace completely down.
I'd rather take a live total. I think this game could maybe get off to a fast start and then die at some point, but at some point you will notice, kind of like an all-star game, the pace and the intensity of the game might just flip in between quarters. And if you can jump in at the right time, you might be able to beat a serious live line and make a decent amount of money.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking of it too. And a lot of money is coming in on the over. It's dragged this total up. It opened up at 225 and a half, which was, pretty low. But now I think we're coming to a point where I got to come back in on the under. So, yeah, 229 is it for me. We said the props we like. Nick also thrown in Kyrie's last 5 versus Brooklyn, 27, 25, 38, 38, 20.
He meant against Milwaukee, but same stats.
Yeah, last 5 against Milwaukee. Yeah, I did say Brooklyn. Last 5 against Milwaukee, 27, 25, 38, 38, 20. So Kyrie can expect him to have a good game in this game. I think.
I mean, are we just blindly going to back like Durant 35, Giannis 35, or like maybe Giannis 40, Durant 35? And
Giannis, Durant, Giannis, Kyrie. Like, matter of fact, there's like a method that I've seen on Twitter where people like take the highest people and bet their points prop in a parlay.
And they slowly like trickle it down.
Yeah. So I would play that method here. I think it's a good chance of that. And you like take Giannis and KD for, let's just go ahead and say we take them for 35. Or matter of fact, let's do Kyrie because we just talked about Kyrie. So, well, no, that's going to mess up the method. So yeah, Giannis and KD, and then you come back with Holland. Well, dang, would you?
I'm just going to experiment here. If you put Durant and Giannis to each score 35, it pays out a roughly 6-1. If you take Giannis to score 40, Giannis 40s plus 310. That's such horrible odds.
Yeah,
I can't even entertain that thought. Like Durant 40 plus is 6-1.
Yeah, I'm looking at that's ridiculous.
There's no value to be had anywhere. I mean, if you take each of them to score 40, it's 28-1, which isn't even that good.
There's a fun way we can play this. I'm just trying to.
Kyrie 30 plus is plus 250, which is kind of interesting.
So if we take Giannis for 35, we take Kyrie for 30.
I think I found a parlay we could do.
And we take Drew Holiday for 25.
I'm just going to read off what I got while you pull up the odds there.
Okay.
I got Giannis at 40, Durant at 35, and Kyrie at 30. Yes, I know there's a lot of points involved. I would kind of lean to an over. I get it. But that 3-pick would pay out at 41-1.
And then what happens if you toss Drew Holiday in there at 25?
If you toss Holiday in there at 25, Drew Holiday to score 25 is plus 360.
Yes, that's insane. I would like play Drew Holiday just by himself.
So Drew Holiday, if you throw him in there, that pays out at 212 to 1. But if you move it down to 20 points, which is plus 115, that pays out at roughly 92 to 1.
I think we found it.
For Giannis 40, Durant 35, Kyrie 30, Holiday 20.
Hold
it's
up.
92 to 1.
Hold up. Giannis 40, Durant 35, Kyrie 30 and Drew 20. That's 125 points. So, yeah, they could have half the points in a game.
They could.
Yeah, okay. That's it right there. Read that one off one more time. That's it right there. That's the point.
All right. So, Giannis 40, Durant 35, Kyrie 30, Holiday 20. Pays out a roughly 92 to 1.
All right. There we go. That's it right there. Whew. All right. That was – I'm sweating.
You could play it safer and potentially move Durant down to – you can move some things around.
Yeah.
The
Like,
point is it'll
finesse
still be
it
a
your
nice
way.
price.
We're DJs here. All right. Anything else for this game? I think we've hit everything on the mark for that one.
No, I think we're good.
All right. Before we get into the rest of the slate, I'm here to talk to you about WynnBET, the official sports book of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, where they have live betting, they have same game parlays, they have the DJs only WynnBET parlay wheel. Great promo. Ooh, whoa, that was the sickness speaking there. Great promos, odds, and payouts right now at WynnBET. So much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET, where if you sign up today, you can get a special offer. Bet $100, get a $100 free bet. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Offer subject to change, terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 20 or older and present in the state where playthrough WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by the SGPN Mini Helmet Contest. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmets. The sportsgamblingpodcast.com/helmet for your chance to win a free SGP Mini Helmet. And football bingo is back. Only thing about it is, unfortunately, it is on NBA Christmas Day. However, you don't have to lock into the games. You can still hang out with us on Christmas and join the NFL Christmas contest. Just go to the SGPN app, get your bingo card, and just look up the results of the game and check off your bingo card. Every bingo gets a $100 SGPN gift card exclusively on the SGPN app. All right, next game on the slate, we have the Toronto Raptors playing the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland, -4.5 for the Cavs. 215 is the total. Injury report for these two teams, and we have for Toronto, Gary Trent Jr. is questionable with a quad injury. Kim Birch is questionable with a illness. Otto Porter Jr. is out. Precious Achiuwa is out, as you already know. And for the Cavs, Evan Mobley is questionable with the knee injury. Lamar Stevens is questionable with knee injury. Dean Wade, Dylan Windler, Ricky Rubio, all still out. Raptors are 2-0 against the Cavs this season. And both games finished under a total of 213. So we have 215, and the Cavs are getting getting 4.5 points at home.
I mean, I like the under anyway. Like, the under was going to be one of my main choices. This game is underwritten all over it. You're expecting pace to be slow. Toronto defensively against the Knicks played pretty well. It helped that Randall smoked that layup, but we're not going to talk about that. Still, Toronto's defense has been playing a little bit better recently. Offensively, we know they can really struggle at times. But both games, though, were in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland's 16-2 at home. So you can argue that you can toss out how the first two games went in terms of the side, because Toronto at home should win those games. And on the road, Cleveland should win their home games because, I mean, they're so good at home. But The total, I think, is pretty telling that both games were basically rock fights and it went under. I do like Cleveland in this game, though. We saw Siakam go for 52, 9, and 7.
He had his Garden moment. He had his Garden moment.
It's only fitting if he's going to be terrible in this game. Like I really could see him be horrible in this game, and it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm going.
I mean, he's gonna have an issue of getting. Siakam gets his points in the paint. Like, that's how he does his work. He gets in the post and he finds his way in the paint and goes to work by the rim. Good luck with Jared Allen and potentially Evan Mobley both still sitting there.
Even without Mobley only played 23 minutes against Milwaukee. He got hurt pretty early on. They managed to hold serve without him, and they won the game anyway. I got to take Cleveland. It's 4.5. You're 16-2 at home. You're incredible against the spread at home. And Toronto, yes, they beat the Knicks. They're still 4-12 on the road. I'm not, and the Knicks are on a back-to-back. You can argue fatigue angle was there. I got to take Cleveland. I mean, it's a tale as old as time, isn't it? Just take Cleveland at home.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be contrarian. I want to find a way to be contrarian here, and maybe it is that Toronto potentially has this team's number.
I think contrarian's like Cleveland team total under, which could potentially win with Cleveland winning the game. But we like the under. I see Cleveland at 4.5. I think first team to 100 wins in this game, and I think Cleveland's more likely to score 100. So I'll go with Cleveland.
Last 5 games, the home team has won and covered every single game.
Okay.
The home team was favored in all 5 games. Home team covered all 5 games.
Just saying, the home road splits for these two teams are pretty jarring. So
night and day. So yeah, I'm not going to question it. I think that your contrarian angle of playing Cleveland team total under is very good, especially with them getting the juice of being a favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Cleveland minus 4.5 for me.
If you're looking for an actual team total, it's going to be around 109.5, 110.5. That seems a little high.
Yeah, no. For Cleveland, because who goes off in this game? Like, who do you...
I mean, of course, Mitchell's going to be the immediate answer, but
is this not a game that you play all unders?
You could. You'd have to probably find one guy. It could be a Mitchell game where he goes off and the rest of the team doesn't really do much.
Yeah,
and Toronto might be in the same boat, but
that's another thing I'm thinking about.
I'm
in parlay mode. This is a Friday. I'm in parlay mode like all day. I'm sitting here. I'm in Virginia. I'm going in here throwing slips in left, right. Like I'm in parlay mode right now.
I just expect to see an ugly game.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. All right. Anything else? Anything prop wise stand out?
Prop wise, no. I thought maybe about making a double stance with either Siakam or maybe Barnes, but like I don't feel great about it. No, I thought about Garland assists, but we expect the under to happen, so I'm not going to expect him to go over.
Look at Moonoff in the chat, not paying attention. We already talked about this, Moonoff. Yeah, I know you're sick, AD, but we already said that we thought Siakam was going to regress.
It really would be fitting if he just has a terrible shooting game after.
Yeah, because that's what the Knicks do, and that's what the Garden effect. It's the Garden effect. Every player in the league is going to have their moment in the Garden at some point because everybody thinks they're Jordan when they come play the Knicks at fucking home. Like, gosh, just don't get me started. So let's matter of fact, let's just go straight over to the Knicks because let's figure out who's going to be Jordan tonight on the Bulls. Bulls are playing the Knicks in New York.
What do you mean who's going to be? It's DeRozan. What are you talking about?
DeRozan. I feel like DeRozan's already had his moment in Madison.
He goes to the foul line 16 times a game when he plays the Knicks. Like, come on. Like, he's gonna live at the foul line tonight.
Minus 5.5 for the Knicks. 225.5 is the total injury report for these two teams. And
it's a good call by Munaf, by the way. Jared Allen over 10.5 rebounds. That play I don't mind, especially if Mobley's out. I think there's some good spots for Allen to get rebounds. Maybe you can argue Kevin Love if Mobley's out. Maybe Love starts, but Jared Allen rebounds, that I can agree with. Toronto is still a pretty undersized team.
I do. I like
That's
that.
A good look.
See, look at him coming off the bench. Moonoff coming off the bench and adding some contribution. I love it. He doesn't let an injury slow him down. All right. Injury news for the Bulls. Caruso, concussion, and a shoulder. Ew. He's out. Gordon Dragic is probable with an ankle injury. Javonte Green is doubtful with the knee injury. Derrick Jones Jr. is out with an ankle injury. And we all know the travesty that is Lonzo Ball right now. Quentin Grimes is questionable with an ankle injury. Obi Toppin is not going to be playing still. Emmanuel Quickly had a lot of usage in his start with Grimes out. So,
and Grimes being out's a big deal because he's one of your best defensive players. Especially on the wing.
Somebody say who's the best beat baller between us three. It's clearly me. I have the height. I don't think anybody's seen all of us in person, but I just want you to know I have a significant height advantage.
I just said
Scott
that. Yeah, you're taller.
Munaf. Yeah,
I have a height advantage over Munaf, and you have a height advantage over me.
So it's a significant height advantage there. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I mean, you're matched up on Munaf potentially in the post. That might be barbecue chicken to work, but I mean,
I was thinking it. I wasn't gonna say it, but I was like, hey, you put me in the post against Munaf, and he might have some issues there. But all right, let's go ahead and get back to the handicap of this game. I mean, the Bulls are just auto fade alert for me.
I don't know. Can you make a case for them? I don't know. I thought Chicago actually played okay the last 2 games.
I mean, they played. Who did they play? They played Atlanta and they played Miami. I mean, okay, Miami.
I'm just saying, like
Miami is a home favorite. Is an auto fade though.
I get it, but I'm saying people have been talking about, like, including me, that Chicago was an auto fade. I looked at the team was falling apart, but they did win 2 straight, so they managed to fully, somewhat get it together before the whole floor collapsed. But it is what, the 3rd time they've played this season? 3rd time in 2 weeks? 3rd time in a week and a half?
Yeah, Knicks swept them at home.
That happened. The first one went to overtime, then Bulls didn't show up for the second game. Grimes has been good in those 2 games. He had the big 3 in overtime. He's been an effective piece. The Knicks feel obvious. I think this might be my contrarian spot. I think I'm going to lean Chicago. 3rd meeting in 2 weeks. I think it's a decent spot for the Bulls to get some revenge. I could be dead wrong, but I don't know. I feel like Chicago might be feisty tonight.
I want to back Chicago. I want to back. Maybe this is just the fact that I have recency bias with the fact that I backed Chicago in the second game in the back-to-back versus the Knicks, and they absolutely got destroyed.
They no-showed the game.
I know for a fact somebody is going to go off in this game for the Bulls. Like, I know somebody's going to have the Garden moment. It always happens. It never fails. I don't think I can get there, man. I want to get there. I want to. I just don't see it. The Bulls really, like, what do they do that you really sit there and be like, oh, I love when the Bulls do that?
I just think defensively they might have some problems without Grimes against the wings of Chicago.
Yeah.
Looking at the actual money, 57% of the money's on New York, which isn't exactly surprising, but the spread hasn't moved. It's still 5.5, which I find kind of interesting. To probably wait. I think you'll probably see more Knicks money.
I'll take the Bulls in the points. Knicks win a close one.
Okay. I'm trying to see if I can quickly just pull up any more detail on the actual money here. Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, money's on the Knicks, but the line hasn't moved that much. So I'm kind of wondering if there's a reason for that, or maybe it just hasn't moved yet. We'll see. I don't know. I feel like Chicago might be a decent dog spot where usually in the NBA you'll have like 1 or 2 dogs that nobody sees coming, or one that you kind of like half thought about that didn't actually cross your mind to bet. That could be the Bulls tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Knicks are really bad. If the Bulls do get a win, of course it's at home in the Garden against the Knicks. So
I'm just concerned with how bad the Knicks defense was without Grimes against Siakam. And I'm not saying Grimes would have guarded Siakam, but the Knicks defensively just could not guard Siakam to save their lives the entire game. And I think the Bulls have some athleticism on the wings that could give the Knicks problems. Because I'll ask you with this. If Grimes is out, who's guarding DeRozan and who's going to guard Levine? I know Levine's had a bad year, but still. Who would guard those 2 guys? McBride? You throw McBride on one of them?
Yeah, Quickly's not guarding a thing if he's in.
That's what I'm saying. Would McBride start?
And that's probably is like a good point. Grimes does. Okay, this is the handicap. If Grimes plays, I'm on the Knicks. If Grimes doesn't play, I'm on the Bulls.
Okay. I think it's correlated to me. I think you can make a case for like DeRozan 30 or 35 and Bulls money line.
Yeah. That's probably
if the Bulls win.
It's because DeRozan went off. Absolutely. What's that pay? Let me see. I'm pulling it up right now.
You want 30 or you want 35?
35.
Okay.
30. All right. So I see DeRozan 25 in a win is 370. I see DeRozan 30 in a win is 680. And DeRozan 35. Oh wait, that's not.
That's probably gonna be close to like 9-1.
Yeah, it is. If not 10-1. So money line, because I got to make this one. And DeRozan to score 35 points is 11-1.
I'm just saying, if we think there's basically one way for the Bulls to win, and
That's actually the only way I'll play the Bulls.
that's a hell of a deal.
That's actually the only way I'll play the Bulls. The only way I'll play the Bulls, and I probably will play this tonight, is DeRozan 35 and a win. Because if they win, it's because DeRozan went off.
That's how I look at it.
All right. I'm glad we figured that out. I need to talk that out. Somebody random's going to have a really good game for the Bulls.
Kobe White.
Sure. Why not? Because everybody apparently thinks they're Jordan when they come to the Garden. Like, it's so frustrating as a Knicks fan. It's so frustrating to watch Mr. Nobody go out there and put up 40 in the Garden. All right. Next game on the slate. Time everybody's been waiting for. Minnesota Timberwolves are playing the Boston Celtics at home. -10 for the Boston Celtics. 229.5 is. Oh, we didn't talk about total in that game. My bad. For the Knicks, yeah, I'm on the over.
I'm leaning over.
All right, great. Fun talking about that.
Yeah.
229.5 is the total for the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Boston Celtics. Let's see here for an injury report for the Boston Celtics. And you have Marcus Smart, who is probable with an illness. He actually just went through shoot around. And Robert Williams is questionable with an illness as well. Man, this illness is going around. They got it. Me and Moonoff got it. Like, this is just something that's killing the league right now. Minnesota Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert is questionable with an ankle injury.
I mean, you're hoping he doesn't play if you want Minnesota, right? I mean, you're hoping he doesn't play.
Kyle Anderson is questionable with a back injury. Jordan McLaughlin is out with the calf, and you're not seeing Cat or Torian Prince. I mean, we all know what I'm doing. What are you doing, Scott?
I'm not taking the Celtics -10.5. Like, of course not. Like, I don't get me wrong. I've been high on the Celtics this season, but you got to at least notice or at least acknowledge that teams are going to go through slumps during the course of the season. And the Celtics have been slumping for about 2 weeks. The only time they won was when they beat the Lakers, which tells you how bad the Lakers are. But I think
they barely covered that game.
They blew it. Yeah, they gave up a 32. What was it? A 32-5 run, and then they came back and won the game anyway. But I just have to fade the Celtics here. They keep laying 10.5. They lost outright to Orlando twice. They lost outright to Indiana. I can't. I just can't do it. I think that if you're looking at a team that you should be fading for double digits right now, it's probably Boston. Now, if Gobert plays and Boston wins by 30, I'm just going to laugh. But still, based on current form, there's no way I can lay 10.5 with Boston. I'll lean Minnesota.
Man. So, I'd like to welcome everybody to Death Row Records. Come on. I appreciate everybody for coming over to Death Row Records. Now, this is where I have to say about Boston, because I've said it all the time. When you least expect it, they let you down. And they did that for 3 straight games now.
So you think they're going to beat the crap out of Minnesota tonight?
Because I think everybody is on Minnesota now.
Okay.
That is the only thing that is scaring me about Minnesota tonight. I promise you, it's the only thing. Because when everybody comes on my side,
Minnesota can't guard the 3. So if Boston hits their threes, they should win this game comfortably.
Yeah, okay. I agree that. But whenever everybody comes on my side with fuck Boston, fuck Boston, fuck Boston, that's when Boston comes back and they try to show something. So I'm curious. However, on the other side, they have Milwaukee on deck. Christmas Day. Do we have a letdown spot looking ahead to Christmas and looking past this Minnesota team?
Can you have a look-ahead spot after losing to Orlando twice and Indy? I don't know if you can have a look-ahead spot in this situation. Usually look-ahead spots involve you playing well, don't they?
Yeah.
I think Boston's more focused on just getting back on track, to be honest with you. I don't think they're focusing on Milwaukee at all.
I'm not going to go against the brand and tell you to take Boston double digits here, but If you like Boston, you should feel good about Boston.
Don't put your
I'm gonna say
whole
that.
bankroll on it. I think that's what he's trying to say.
If you like Boston, you should feel good about Boston tonight.
Okay.
That's my opinion. All right. 229.5.
Over.
Yeah, I was thinking over too.
Gobert might not play, so you might see Minnesota play a lot more up tempo.
A lot of up tempo, and if you look in Boston defensively, they've been okay. Like they've been decent, but I think there's a door open where Minnesota, with the pace that they like to run at, that they're able to get a lot of points. Both of these teams really are good at playing with pace. Whether they do it all the time is besides the point, but both of these teams really good at playing with a lot of pace. So I'm not afraid of this just being a quicker tempo game because both of these teams feel like that they can get more on the other by running a faster tempo. So yeah, I will go with a over in this one. I think there's a lot of pace. All right. Next game on the slate, we have the Dallas Mavericks going to play the Houston Rockets in Houston, -7 on the road for the Mavericks. 220 is the total.
I want to fade the Rockets so badly, but the Mavericks are laying 7 on the road. Oh.
Dorian Finney-Smith is out with an adductor injury. Kemba Walker is out for injury recovery. Josh Green, Maxi Kleber, both not going to see them. Eric Gordon is out. Garrison Matthews is questionable. Josh Christopher is available. And you're not going to see Jashawn Tate like you haven't seen all year. Let's go through the Mavericks number. Well, let's just do numbers for both teams, but I'm highlighting the Mavericks here because you're getting the Mavericks laying 7 points when they are 8-16-1 as a favorite this season, 6-9 on the road, 12-19-1 on the season ATS. The only thing that's green for them is the fact that they are 6-4 in their last 10 games ATS. We already know what Houston is. Like, I don't have to read off Houston's bad numbers. Yeah, they're bad numbers. Okay, here. Yes, Christian Wood should be in the starting lineup.
I mean, I'll blindly take like Wood double against his old team. Like, I think there's a lot of props to be had with Wood having a good game against Houston.
There's no way in hell I'm laying 7 on the road with Dallas. I don't care.
And they're also a bit shorthanded. Now, you can say that the supporting cast hasn't been good this entire season, so now they can experiment and maybe they'll find something. But they're missing Hart, Finney-Smith. Sorry, not Hart. They're missing Green. Sorry. They're missing Green, Finney-Smith, Hardy, Kleber, and Kemba. Now, you could say some of those guys aren't worth anything. I think Green's a very good player. I think he's looked like a good player this season. Finney-Smith is a good defensive player. And Kleber is their small ball floor stretcher. So it's not like Dallas is a full roster by any means. I'd probably look for Houston just because I think this line's too big. But if you want props, I don't mind looking at Wood double, Wood having a good game. Maybe Luka goes nuts. We'll see, but I can't lay 7 with Dallas. I can't do it.
Yeah, this is screams 1 point game. All right. Yeah, Christian Wood. I'm on Christian Wood, but that's about it here. All right, next game on the slate, we have the Indiana Pacers going to play the Miami Heat. -6.5 for the Heat at home. 223.5 is the total. Injury report here. And for the Pacers, we have Tyrese Haliburton, who is questionable. Aaron Nesmith is questionable. Tice, you're not going to see. And for the Miami Heat, Jim Butler is probable. Kyle Lowry is not on the injury report. Caleb Martin is questionable. Gabe Vincent is questionable. Dwayne Dedmon is probable. Udonis Haslem is questionable. Okay.
Probably Wood doubles even money.
All right. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. I'm not even wasting my time with this. Miami 6-15-2 as a favorite this season. They are 3-12-1 at home. Their at home as a favorite numbers are absolutely atrocious. And we have the upstart Pacers team 9-7 on the road, 12-10 as an underdog. I just like this Pacers team more than this Miami Heat team. They both have the same record, but I think the Pacers are playing better ball. So I don't know what to tell you.
I'm on the Pacers. The Heat game against Chicago, I actually watched a bit of the second half. I was curious. Because Chicago was terrible for a couple games prior, and Miami needed a win. And then I watched the game. Miami was up 4 at the half. Like they went or they're up 5 at the half. They outscored Chicago by 15 in the second quarter. And I'm like, okay, maybe Miami will find something. Miami hit a 3-pointer 25 seconds into the third quarter. So they led by 8. They proceeded to get outscored by roughly 20 points in the next 5 minutes. It was actually incredible. They got demolished in the third quarter. They no-showed the second half. They got outscored by 15 in the second half against Chicago. So Miami is just a bad basketball team. I mean, there's really no other way around it. If you want to look at the run Chicago went on, Miami led 60-52. Chicago ended up leading 75-65. So they went on a 23-5 run in the span of about 5 minutes. This Miami team is just bad. I can't. I earlier this season, I made a statement saying I think Miami might be in panic mode early. And I remember it was either you or Munaf who tried to talk me off the ledge and say they were going to figure it out. They're a veteran team. They'll find a way. I think I was on to something. This team isn't very good. And they're constantly battling injury report news all the time.
I just don't understand how you're so bad at home.
Are we sure Miami's a playoff team? Like, I don't know how. No. I don't think this team is good.
No, they're fighting for. They're going to be fighting for a play-in spot.
Yeah,
I truly believe they're going to be fighting for a play-in spot. There's a lot of teams in the East I would take over them right now.
We were like 3-4 weeks in, and I'm like, this Miami team might have some problems. And I get the argument was it's still early. We'll see. They haven't improved at all as the season's going on.
They suck. It's easy. It's so easy to say. They suck. They are not good. No matter what lineup they put in, no matter if they're all the way healthy, no matter people. I know that all the issues they have, availability is the best availability. They are the Clippers of the East. They are the Clippers of the East. They suck. They're not good. I cannot get behind. They have to show it to me, and they're going to have to show it to me for a while for me to back Miami again. So, no, I'm good on Miami. I don't know how the number is creeping up, and maybe that is a telltale that we probably should be on Miami. I can't do it.
I don't care.
This Indiana seems better than them, and they're so bad as a favorite at home. So Indiana plus 6.5.
I'm looking at the under as well. This total seems way too high. It's at 223.5. They've played twice this season. Neither meeting landed above 200. The total's 223.5. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, I'll take the under.
Especially with all the injury news. Absolutely.
Neither team has scored 102. And the total's 223.5. I'll take the under.
I'm going to go blow my nose with this sickness again. But before I do that, I'm going to let you talk about the New Orleans Pelicans on a back-to-back going to play the Oklahoma City Thunder -2 for the Thunder at home. 233 is the total injury report for these two teams. And you have Zion still in health and safety protocols. You're still not going to see Brandon Ingram. Larry Nance Jr. is questionable. Well, not questionable. He's TBD. But for Oklahoma City Thunder, Trey Mann is out. Jalen Williams is out.
Can't even say Trey Mann's out. He got demoted.
Yeah,
he's in the G League now.
That's really crazy. Demoted. And he was like one of my favorite players, but he was playing pretty bad. You're not going to see JRE. You're not going to see Dang. You're not going to see Chet Holmgren. Of course, you all know that.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. You're getting to with OKC, and I'm probably going to ask you what you said again in a second, but your floor is yours.
Yeah. So for this one, OKC's favored slightly. A pretty rare favorite role here for OKC. I think I am going to take the Thunder. I'm not exactly a fan of the travel spot here for New Orleans. There were only 2 games on yesterday, and New Orleans was in one of them. They were shorthanded because Zion didn't play, and you're looking at how that game went. Of course, New Orleans won. They beat San Antonio pretty comfortably. They won by 9. Game got close at the end, but New Orleans basically dominated from start to finish. But since they were shorthanded, I have to at least point out the overall minutes that were played by the active players for New Orleans. And McCollum played 37 minutes. The other starters played somewhere around 25 or so. Herb Jones played 34. But McCollum played 37.
Yep.
They're on a back-to-back with travel to OKC. OKC is pretty well rested. I think I have to take OKC. I just think that we saw them play a couple weeks ago. New Orleans won barely. That game was very close. Zion played. He was a monster in that game. But with Zion being out, with McCollum on the back-to-back playing 37 minutes last night, I really don't like the spot for New Orleans with travel. I'm going to take OKC. The fatigue angle, I think, is too much when only 4 teams played yesterday.
Yeah, I know they have the rest advantage.
And the health advantage.
I kind of promised myself I wasn't going to take OKC as a favorite anymore. Yeah, after that Minnesota game, I kind of promised I wasn't going to take them as a favorite anymore. But this is a really good spot for them to get right. And I understand why they're a -2 favorite.
I'm handicapping solely based on the spot. Pelicans are shorthanded, and their main star players, quote unquote, McCollum and Herb Jones, each played 34+ minutes last night. It is a pretty bad spot for the Pelicans.
Yeah, it's a terrible spot for them. All right.
That's why I'm back in the spot.
This is all right. This is it. This is the like, you know how people be like, hey, God, I promise you, if you get me out of being drunk right now, I'll never get drunk again. Like this is it for me. I promise you. If OKC doesn't cover this as a favorite, I will never touch OKC as a favorite again for the rest of the season. I promise you that. I will not. But I will back them this one last time because this is a great spot. And plus, you know that I think SGA is going to have a pretty solid game. Now he's going to have his work cut out with him with Herb Jones, because Herb Jones is probably going to step up and take that matchup. But he's been good. Like, he's been really good no matter who the best defender is on the other side of the ball. He's found ways to get to the rim, and be able to score the basketball. I think this is going to be one of those situations where he does it again and really carried his team again. So, plus, was that the last time these teams played? Did they play this season?
Yeah, they played earlier. Zion played well, but the game was close. Pelicans won by like 3 or 4. Game was close.
What was the game?
I remember that game because Munaf and I had Valanciunas double-double, and he proceeded to just not play at all basically in the fourth quarter. I think he finished 1 point short, which was frustrating. But yeah, Pelicans won by 4. But Zion had like 30 and 10, and Zion killed this team. So
yeah, that's a big loss. All right. I was just thinking because I had $15,000. I had a parlay, and I had $15,000 riding on the Thunder money line against the Pelicans one time. And SGA hits an incredible shot that quote unquote sends it to overtime.
Yeah,
and then
the Devontae Graham shot.
And Devontae Graham hits one of the longest shots ever to blow my Thunder money line, and $15,000 for me. So when I see these two teams, I always am hesitant to take the Thunder.
To be fair, though, they were trying to intentionally foul Shea before he shot the 3, and they just didn't call the foul. So you got a bit lucky they even counted the Shea 3 in the first place. But just saying, Garrett Temple was trying to hack him pretty clearly, and they just didn't call it. So
I just have whenever I see OKC and Pelicans, I think I have bad memories. Have you ever had a beat like that, y'all? Like, literally, if they went to overtime and they got killed in overtime, I would have felt better because, like, okay, they just weren't a good overtime team. For him to hit that shot, I've had
all-time beats before, but the parlay payout was not like $15,000, so it doesn't relate to that. It was a
$15,000 payout.
I once lost the final leg of a parlay. I was a sophomore in college. It was the final leg of a college football parlay.
Mm-hmm.
It was Bowling Green against Ohio, and Bowling Green converted a 4th and 30 Hail Mary with a minute to go, and they ended up losing by like 7. I had Ohio -12. They converted a 4th and 30 with a minute to go for a touchdown, and that's how I lost my parlay. So,
drop your worst parlay bad beats or worst bad beats you have in the comments so I can laugh while we finish the rest of the show. We got to go. Hurry up. We're going way over on time, and we got a number of games. Next thing on, 233 is the total. I am on the under.
I'm leaning under. This total is way too high.
Yeah. I don't think that the New Orleans is going to come up and put a bunch of points on the back.
On a back-to-back with travel and no Zion? No.
Before Christmas?
Yeah, I'm on the under.
All right. Portland is playing. The Portland Trailblazers are playing the Denver Nuggets in Denver. -4.5 for the Denver Nuggets. 232.5 is the total. Injury report for these two, and we have Damian Lillard, who is probable with a wrist injury. Nurkic, who is probable with a calf. Josh Hart, probable with a ankle injury. Drew Eubanks is probable with a hip injury. Justice Winslow is doubtful with the ankle injury. And then you're not seeing Nazir Little or Kerry Payton II. And then we also have Jamal Murray, who is questionable injury management, and Michael Porter Jr. And it says here, said he'll play. So whatever you want to take that to be. And Jeff Green, that is probable. All right. I mean, I can't. I'm still at a point where I don't fade the Trailblazers.
I feel like it's actually a good spot for Portland. Denver won a game against Memphis on national TV very comfortably. Jokic had another ridiculous stat line, 13, 13, and 13, because why not? I've mentioned this before. I try to fade teams that do pretty well in national TV games, and I try to back teams that got blown out on national TV games. And Denver's still a team I don't fully trust because Jokic is their entire team. He does everything. And I know that Portland's had a hard time guarding him in the past. Denver can't guard Lillard, though, so I guess it's a trade-off. But I'm going to lean Portland here. I think that people will blindly take Denver because they killed Memphis on national TV. Doesn't this line feel very short for a Denver team that's a number one in the Western Conference at home?
Yeah.
Feels very short. I'm going to lean Portland.
Portland, this Western Conference is so close that if Portland were, and I'm probably going to look up odds for Portland to be the number one seed just because I like how they play. I like their team, and they haven't even gotten their best defensive player back yet. So I like Portland's outlook and how Damian
Gary Payton II exists. Is he like
I don't think he's a real person anymore.
I don't know what happened to him.
I don't actually think I've seen him. Okay. And I've watched Portland games. I don't think I've actually seen him with the
I don't think I've ever seen him on the sideline.
Yes. I don't recall. And I actually watch Portland's games a good amount because I really like this team. They just lost 2 straight to OKC on the road, and you figured they thought in their mind that they were going to get the second one for sure. So I think this is a really good bounce back spot. They're still really good on the road. ATS 12-7 against the spread, and that's after losing 2 and not covering 2 games on the road against OKC. So still really, really good against the spread. Really, really good as an underdog. 13-6 as an underdog. So I think that this is a really good spot against the Denver team that sucks as a favorite. They're 9-14 as a favorite. And we sit here and we look at all the options that Portland has to throw at you in that starting lineup, whereas Damian Lillard, Jerami Grant, who should look for a little bit of revenge in this game as well. And you have Anthony Simons. They just have so many options. I could sit here and see all 5 starters, honestly, having double figures in this game, especially if Michael Porter Jr. plays, because Lord knows he can't guard a fly.
And you're looking at the 2 meetings this season. Portland won by 25, and they played in Denver. They arguably should have won the game because Lillard hit the go-ahead 3, and then Murray hit the game winner with 0.5 on the clock. So Portland could easily be 2-0 against this team.
All right.
And I like the over.
Yeah, I'm on over as well. Quick bad beat from Brandon in the chat. He bet on the Colts last week. Oh, I'm not even going to say anything else. Everybody
That's an
knows.
all-timer.
Yeah, that is an all-timer. I'm not even going to say anything else.
It would have been the worst beat of all time for Colts plus 3.5 if they lost by 6, but they ended up covering that.
Yeah, if they didn't cover that number, that would have been sick. But yeah, money line Colts bettors were absolutely hurt in that game. Next game on the slate, we have the Washington Wizards playing the Sacramento Kings. That is 9 for the Kings at home. 239.5 is the total. Injury report for the Wizards, and we have Kristaps Porzingis, Diddy, I don't even know. Avdia. Yeah, that's how you say it. Avdia. And DeLon Wright, all TBD if they're going to play in this game. And Rashawn Holmes for the Kings is questionable with an illness. Are the Kings getting too many points here? They're almost at double digits.
You can make an argument because they don't guard anybody. And they did lose to Charlotte. Washington is on a back-to-back, though. So are you assuming that Beal and everyone's going to play in this game?
I don't know. Porzingis didn't play last night.
Okay. So is it possible they just tag team it? With him and Beal, they just swap them out?
Possibly.
There's only one thing I'm really looking at. Sabonis rebounds is 13.5. All right. Is that back-to-back 20 pieces for rebounds? 13.5? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll take it.
Close. Good call on that too, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Back to back. It's just too many points. Give me the Wizards +9. Who's running to the window to bet the Wizards tonight?
I just like the
everybody's on
over.
Kings.
It's a really, really high total. I get it. But I mean,
The Kings don't have
they don't guard anybody.
Who? They don't even like Davion Mitchell. I don't even think they like him as a person anymore.
They bring him in for like 15 minutes a game.
Yeah, I don't even think they like him as a person
him as a player. I think he's good.
I love him as a player, but they don't use him. They don't use him. All right. Yeah,
I'm leaning over.
I'm on over as well. I think that's the better play for me. But
or at least first half over. Maybe you can worry about fatigue for Washington.
Yeah, Wizards now 8-2. Now 8-2 in their last 10 games in the first half over. So I'm comfortable backing that first half over again in this game with the Wizards.
Yeah,
going up against the Kings. All right. Next game on the slate, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. My Memphis Grizzlies on the road going to play the Phoenix Suns, and Phoenix -2.5 for the Grizzlies. 226 is the total. For the Grizzlies, Desmond Bane is questionable, and you're not seeing Danny Green. Woj telling Danny Green he was on the trade block while they were on set. It's not Woj, but Brian Windhorst saying that he was on the trade block while they were on set. Absolutely hilarious.
It's actually funny because Windhorst was on a podcast for The Ringer about a day prior, and he said on air he was going to say that while Danny Green was next to him. So that wasn't on the fly. He already had that planned, and he said it anyway.
Premeditated. That's hilarious. All right, for the I did not know this. All right, for the Suns, Devin Booker is out. Chris Paul is not on injury report. Campaign is out. Josh Okogie is questionable. Jock Landale is questionable. You're not seeing Cam Johnson.
Don't I have to take Memphis in this game?
Memphis gets up. I don't care what nobody says. Memphis gets up when they play the big Western Conference teams. Like, I don't care how they're playing this season. When they play the Suns and when they play Golden State, Memphis gets up for those games.
It's first of all, I hated the Jock comments. I'm not worried about the Western Conference. All right, maybe you should make the finals first. But still, Memphis is probably the most talented team right now. At least they're playing good basketball. You can argue, Denver, but it's mostly Jokic. New Orleans, I think, is too young. The Warriors without Curry for a month, they might not even make the playoffs. So Memphis should probably be the 1 seed. But the Suns, they piece it together for a couple of games there. Booker was going nuts again. And then they lost to the Wizards, and you saw Bridges and Ayton yelling at each other with about a minute to go in the game. Monty Williams started yelling at Ayton again. So the chemistry shot. You're looking at the injuries. Booker's not playing. Is there anything to like about the Suns in this game besides the fact they're blindly at home?
The fact that nobody likes them?
I guess, but I got to take Memphis here.
Yeah, I can't get behind it.
You're having teammates yell at each other in game, and Ayton goes for like 30 and 10, and he's still being a teammate cancer. Like, I have to go with Memphis here.
Yeah, I can't get behind the Suns. I can't do it. The only thing that I could sit here and say, if you like Phoenix, what will go in your favor is the fact that you have a look ahead for Memphis. And that's playing the Warriors on Christmas Day. But now Steph's not playing in that game. So how much of a look ahead is it really?
That's what I'm saying. And Phoenix is still a team that's well respected in the Western Conference. So
yeah, I think Memphis comes in.
Memphis is probably going to be Golden State by 30 on Christmas, but that's a separate story.
Give me Memphis 11+ win margin.
Yeah, I'm curious what that price is, but I could really see Memphis coming out and just smacking this team.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, last game of the slate. This should be quick. Charlotte Hornets are going to play the Los Angeles Lakers in Los Angeles. -3 for the Lakers. 242 is the total. Injury report for these two teams. And we have, for the Hornets, Terry Rozier's questionable. Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable.
Total's 242? Oh, God.
LeBron James.
I'm not surprised, but like, oh, God. That's such a huge total. Okay.
LeBron James probable, Russell Westbrook probable, Austin Reeves questionable, Anthony Davis is not going to play, JTA is not going to play.
By the way, Grizzlies to win by 11+ is +310.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. That might be my dog. All right. I mean, is this not just a spot where a bad team comes, plays the Lakers, and they absolutely show out?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a spot. I think if you want to go for player props, you blindly take Thomas Bryant double-double
Yeah.
because they're against Charlotte. That's a given. He also had a double-double last game, so he's pretty much the only center that they actually have at this point. But I actually want to see the odds on that for Thomas Bryant double-double. My question for you is, do you think anyone in Charlotte can even pretend to guard LeBron James?
No, not at all. I don't think
Okay.
they can pretend to guard him. I don't think that they can even go to sleep and dream about guarding him. He probably cooks them in their dreams,
Thomas
and it
Bryant
turns into a
double-doubles
nightmare.
plus 190? Really?
Get out of here.
Really?
Get out of
190?
here. Get out of here. Plumlee probably gets fouls out. Like
I
he
still think
probably
Nick
fouls
Richards should
out.
be starting, for the record. I
And guess what?
190
Charlotte
for double-double. Hell yeah.
And this is also a terrible spot for them. We're sitting here. They've been on the road for over a week now. They've been on the road since what? The Sunday the 18th.
Mhm.
Been on the road against that. Played Denver, played Sacramento. Good win against Sacramento, I'll give you that. And played the Clippers. And you're telling me Christmas is this weekend. They are ready to get to the crib. They are ready to get home. Like, they are ready to go home. They are not getting up for this game at all. They're about to sleepwalk through this game. I don't think Charlotte's going to give anything in this game. Give me Lakers to win by 11 plus, and give me Grizzlies to win by 11 plus in a parlay.
Okay. Let me just pull up what Lakers are to win by 11 plus. It's going to be somewhere in the 200s, but it is plus 290. So you have a plus 290 and a plus 310.
Yes, like I truly believe that Charlotte's ready to pack it up, get to the crib.
They did their
Truly
job.
believe it.
They won one game. They beat
Yes.
the Kings. That's it.
Yes, that's it. They're not giving anything else. That's it. All right.
I want to say LeBron can score 40 in this game, but like it's terrible odds. I can't do it. I'll tell you what a sleeper play might be. You want to make a case for Westbrook triple double?
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Totals 242. Charlotte can't rebound. I think you might have some value there on Westbrook triple double.
All right.
It's 12 to 1.
Under. Give me the under. It's too much. We're 7 points. I lost 7 points of value. Give me the under. I don't care. Charlotte's not gonna do their part of scoring.
That's my thing. I think I'd rather take a Charlotte team total under than a full game under here. But
yeah,
I'm trying to see if I can find better odds on the triple double.
While you're doing that, let me talk to everybody about Dave, because Dave is the banking app that could help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. Look, if you're struggling around this holiday time, you want to go get some extra gifts and you know you're getting paid next week, talk to my guy Dave. He can help you out. No interest fees, no credit checks, no late fees. Look, download Dave app from the App Store now. I promise you won't regret it. Go to dave.com/SGPN, sign up for an extra cash account, and get up to $500 instantly. Terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC. All right, you got those triple double odds.
The best I found was 12 to 1 for Westbrook, which I don't think is
what?
worth it, but
12 to 1.
Yeah, that's all I found.
Couldn't get 20.
I was hoping to. I mean, maybe if you do a same game parlay and you just parlay the points, rebounds, assists.
I'd parlay him with somebody. There's a fun way to play that somewhere.
Well, let me see what it is if you actually create your own. Sometimes if you do a same game parlay with the 10 plus, it actually pays out bigger than the preset triple double. So let me see what I can get. But anyway, if you want to, you can continue, and I'll just tell you.
Yeah. All right. Lock and dog time before my computer dies. For my lock, let's go to wow. See, Memphis, LA, Lakers is actually just
12 to 1 is the best I'm going to get for Westbrook. So I'm out.
Yeah, this line is too short. Give me Lakers -3. That's my lock. For my dog, wow, I like a lot of dogs today. Let's go to. I'm actually might pivot. Moonoff said it earlier that Kellen Joss is playing. I think I'm pivoting over to San Antonio with the large number. But I'm not going to make them my dog. So I'm going to just go back. Give me Portland plus 160 on the road. They get a good win against the Denver Nuggets.
Okay. So for me, I'm going to go with the Pistons plus 9 as my lock against the Hawks. Hawks shouldn't be laying a 9 against anybody. I don't even care.
Yep.
And my dog's going to be Thomas Bryant double-double at plus 190.
All right. Like it. Love it. Anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No. Looking forward to the games tonight. I'm sure there's a lot of good parlays to be had. I know we're going to bet the Nets game parlay we gave out, but looking forward to the weekend. Should be fun, and let's make some money. Happy holidays.
Moonoff said, keep an eye on LaMelo Ball threes if Rozier doesn't go. Last 5 games, he's averaging 5 makes and 11 attempts. Yeah, I do like that. And he should show out in LA. He's an LA guy, so he's probably, he should show out. And for his lock, DeRozan over 25.5 points. Yeah, that's a very, very good lock. I'm with you on there as well.
Said it before, but once again, I'll say it again. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. And yeah, there you go.
Yep. We will be back tomorrow for a special Saturday edition. Everybody, if you don't know that, we will be back tomorrow about the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern, give or take a couple of minutes. I'm late all the time, whatever. We will be back for Christmas Days, breaking down the Christmas Day game. So join us for that special Saturday edition of the pod. We'll see if Moonoff is currently questionable right now.
Gonna be there, though.
I'm probable. He's questionable. Ryan McKee, he is in. So he is absolutely in there. We'll see who all is up there, but we will have a special Christmas Day pod going on Christmas Eve tomorrow. So happy holidays, everyone. No other way to end the podcast. Wait, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you leave a review, all of that. But now we're going to end the podcast like this. We're out of here.